So my grandmother showed up with a message for all of us today, and it took a little bit of time to figure it out. I was in meditation this morning, still meditating on the word compassion, and still trying to find a way to better express holding space for someone else. And when that person is in their dojo, is in their, I call it the arena, when they are in their initiation, and for sure there is trauma drama. And I thought of my grandmother with her big bosoms and her big perfumey soft hug that I used to escape into when I was a little girl. Soft, warm, safe. And I asked myself the question, do I offer grandmother's warm, cuddly love to others? Yes, I do. I do with babies. I do with children. I even do with little animals. Do I do it with adults? Do I do it with noble heroes? Do I do it with my students? Sometimes, yes, but I had to think about it. I had to address, we need to hold space. And in holding space, we stay outside of the trauma drama, but we hold space. So I am aware that there are multiple levels of love, compassion, and Milan had turned his head when I said 7 levels, so I had to go and look them up, and here they are. And my Latin is probably terrible. Philia is friendship. Philantia is self-love. Eros, romantic love. Agape, universal love. Storge, I don't know if I said that right, the love between parent and children. Ludus, which I love, is ludic, which is playful love. Pragma, love founded on duty and responsibility. So there's love for everybody. And I would like to draw a chart. I'm much better with a pen than a computer, but I'm going to go back to my circle. And let's say that this circle is us. And let's say that we have the lower astral, which is the lower third. And this is where the root, dantian, plexus hang out. And the lower astral is where there is trauma, drama. And this is where, in the invisible world, the entities just love to come and chew on our trauma drama. Yuck. At a higher level in our energy organism, we have the mental, big part of who we are. And the mental is where we escape to when we're sick of being emotional all the time. And we go up above crying, trauma, drama, and we control the emotion with thought. And the entities don't get us. At a higher level, we have, well, let me put it over here. So you have body, mind, spirit. You have the exalted level of consciousness where you contact, and I don't think I can draw one, the starlight. Oh, look at that. And the starlight feeds us, and we want to rise up to the starlight. So in our teenage years, for sure, family years, for sure, grandma years, we are in the astral level of communication with others. It is social, emotional. It is taking care of other people's feelings as we take care, of our feelings. But we are in the soup. How long do we want to be in the soup? So I could also do another drawing of the Sephirotic tree. Well, let's just say I can't teach all of that, but you place yourself in the Sephirotic tree with a certain choir of angels. There's more than just the Ashim, who actually help you because you have a certain mission, and the angels are to help you with your mission. So if you're down in the lower quadrant of the Sephirotic tree, you are here still very connected to the human workshop of suffering. If you are connected to archangels at the higher level of the tree, you're visionary. I'm up at Hakma. I am not down in the stuff because that's not my mission. It is other people's missions, which is why if it's too much, you pass it to someone else. So the question that I wanted to think about to deliver to you is, how long do we stay holding space for someone who is in their swamp, in their trauma drama? And that's what I was meditating on this morning. And what came to me was, aha. Do you know the experiment called entrainment with metronomes? There is an experiment where you can start a whole room. You know a metronome for the piano? It gives time. It goes tick, 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 tick. And musicians use it to stay on beat. So you got one going like this, and then you do another one jaggedly, and they don't match. In 21 minutes, they match. This is a concept we use in Tama-Do because why do we do our Dayan Fa in the morning? Because it takes 21 minutes for us to entrain and be in alignment. For our energy bodies, our chakras, our subtle bodies, our mind, our emotion, to leave where we have come from and to become our workshop. And so we do the energy movement to begin with in order to entrain, to be on the same page. So energy movement is good. We get on the happy train. We're all in a certain energy, and the teacher can start to transmit the information. What if, so 21 minutes, what if you're holding someone, and when I think about it, my grandmother never held big people. She just liked babies. She just held the little babies. And when I grew up, she no longer held me. she held other little babies. And so what if we, as grandmotherly types, hold somebody who is a client or is, well, it can't be a client, will be sued, somebody who is in trauma drama. Okay, and we're holding them. Or let's say we're Tama-Do, we're holding space. Let's say we're just waiting for this to stop. Remember, the lower astral is down at the floor level, and the purging of emotion is a dense energy that goes to the floor. Psychics can see it. I can see all the dark on the floor, which is why I encourage you guys to work on massage tables so that the dark can go off onto the floor and you're not crawling around in it, but you're walking in it. So it goes down on the floor. What if we are holding space for more than 21 minutes? Think of the bathtub. Here comes the kvetching. So your energy bubble, that beautiful, empty, sacred space, our atomic structure of God, which we try to keep empty for all of the Yashim to happily give us light. What if we are holding space and we're fine? See, our brain is fine. Our brain don't know what is happening energetically as the negative starts to permeate and fill us and entrain us in 21 minutes. So I would encourage those of us that like to do that, to hold space of the drama trauma, to only do it for 18 minutes. And then switch the topic. Don't wait for 21 minutes because then you become them. Energetically, you become, on an energetic level in your aura, you have received the imprint of the trauma. And Avi, I think you said it yesterday, you just get a hangover. You just feel like, ugh, and you feel good on a noble level. We have taken care of this person who's so appreciative, and we feel, I always feel kind of dirty afterwards because we've been polluted. And as you get older, you cannot take so much in. You have to be more boundary oriented, saying, I love you. I love the light in you. I can't handle this dark, sad, sorry story. Right. And if you are holding on your flag, the light above all else, this is not light. Let's think of those words. I looked at, I always look for Thich Nhat Hanh, what his community has to say, because he's a Buddhist monk. He's full of compassion. They speak of compassion all the time. And sure enough, there is a monk. She's speaking of sending compassion to the victims of the Ukraine war and the Israeli-Gaza situation. And she's sitting there in a very sad, sorry way, talking about we send as a collectivity, which I agree in, compassion. And I feel her vibration as she says compassion. And I feel like it's an organ in a church at a funeral where you know you're supposed to be sad and sorry because the music is sad and sorry. And this is where I relinked with my grandmother because I remember my grandmother's funeral, and it was 50 years ago, and I started to speak about the celebration of my grandmother, which was not common back there in churches at that time. The celebration, the lift up, fighting the sad, sorry organ music that we're supposed to be sad and sorry, if we celebrate the light instead of compassion. Think of the energetic of that light. Compassion. There is that heaviness to the word compassion that I have to be careful of because I'm a fire fairy, and if I have too much watery compassion, it takes me down. So think about sending to a country in distress compassion or light, 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 light. It is wrong. We can name that it is wrong. We are so sorry it's wrong. Let's rise up to the light and send chi and love and light to help you to believe that there is hope and there is possibility of getting out of your terrible, that's a good, terrible situation. So I am actively using a different word, and maybe compassion and light are the same thing. And then I remember in my grandmother's funeral, my uncle, who was an amazing baritone opera singer, sang "O Holy Night." Now, I don't remember this by sitting on the couch meditating. I am driving to the post office, and I'm still contemplating this whole thing, and I start singing "O Holy Night." See, I don't link it to my grandmother until the messages have come, and I'm going, oh my goodness, I have not sung that or heard that since my grandmother's funeral. Why am I suddenly so interested in "O Holy Night"? Do I like the words? Is it because it's Christmas? What is that? I don't care about the words. I'm not a religious person, but I love those high notes. I love the grandeur when they hit the high notes. And then I'm looking on YouTube for who can do, and it's Andre Bocelli, and it's the baritones, and I'm like, whoa, this is an amazing uplift. I have to share with you guys. This is exaltation. This is divine creativity. And then I go, oh my God, this is my grandmother's message. I look, do you know where "O Holy Night" was first sang? No, it's probably the second time, but let me get my notes right because I did not know this. I had to look up "O Holy Night." What's that about? First of all, he was an atheist, which is very interesting. And it was the Franco-Prussian War in 1871, where a French soldier on Christmas Eve stands up in the trenches and starts singing "O Holy Night" to the Germans, who are completely armed, and he's not armed. He's singing "O Holy Night," and the Germans don't know what to do with that. Do you know what they do? Do they shoot him? No. They answer with their own Christmas carol. And for 24 hours, there was a ceasefire, and both sides celebrated Christmas dinner together. And then they went back to fighting. But the message from my grandmother then, creativity. Don't send compassion. Find creativity that surprises the light into all of us. Divine acts of creativity in the middle of the worst possible situation, and it will rise us up out of the swamp into the godly place, putting our earth back in the luminous light body earth where she belongs, where we belong as godly creatures. And that's my message. Let's do our Qigong.